And that says the following. And that says that cofunctions of complementary angles are equal. Do you remember what complementary angles mean? They add up to what? Careful. 90 degrees. Okay, so supplementary add up to 180. Okay, and complementary add up to 90 degrees. Okay, and so the way that I am introducing this concept to you, now, the place where you're going to use these more is, and if we have time this year, I'll try to get to them so that next year in pre-cal it's not going to be brand new to you. But one of the hardest things that students find in pre-calculus is working with trig identities. Okay? And to me, it's kind of like a puzzle or like logic, and you try to fit things together, but a lot of students are less patient than people back when I was taking math, and you guys want instantaneous answers for things. A lot of times what you have to do is you have to try something, fail at it, and then try a different attempt. Okay? One of the things that often will work is this concept. If you understand that complementary angles, if you can find complementary angles and use cofunctions of those complementary angles being equal, you can often turn something into a form that's easier to use and that you can then use a trig identity for. Okay, so this is a cofunction identity, so it's part of kind of what you're going to be doing there. But the idea is this. Cofunctions are functions that are separated by the word co. Right? So sine is a cofunction with what? Cosine. Right? Tangent is a cofunction with cotangent. And secant is a cofunction with cosecant. Okay? So that's what it means by cofunctions. Okay? And so what this winds up being is if you see something like this, the cosine of t is going to equal, what is the cofunction of cosine? Sine, right? And what is the complement of t? Now, you see it here. It's given in radians, right? So radians, if it says adds up to 90 degrees, we also might need to know it adds up to how many radians? 90 degrees is pi over 2. Okay, so the complementary angles will be x and 90 minus x for angles or degrees, x and pi over 2 minus x for radians. So if you were looking for an angle or a measure that was equivalent to cosine of t, you take its cofunction, so sine, and the complement of t would be pi over t, or pi over 2 minus t. So this is what you would be looking for in this problem. So sine of pi over 2 minus t, and that would be your answer. Okay, what about this next problem over here? Which of these trig ratios is going to be equivalent to cosecant of t? So the cofunction is secant, and then the complement is 90 minus t, right? And so you can find it here, and that would be your solution. So I'm introducing, so obviously these are very basic, right? And they're not going to be more complex than this. It's just going to give you, you'll be chosen or given one. It'll be either radians or degrees, and you'll need to identify. I just want you to get into the habit of seeing what that is. Okay? And so what about when I give you a problem like this? Again, it's going to be really straightforward for this because I'm trying to introduce it to you and get you familiar with the concept. So when you start to do things more complex, you will have the basics down. But if I tell you, if you have a statement where the secant of 52 degrees is 1.62, and then I ask you to evaluate what is the cosecant of 38, can you find that without using a calculator? Yes, because the cosecant is the cofunction of secant, And what's the relationship between 38 and 52? They are complementary. Therefore, the cofunction of complementary angles are equal. So what would this cosecant of 38 degrees be? 1.62.